उगणाभ्यस्त्रगुम् वृत्सेभ्यो व्रातेभ्यो गणेभ्यो विरूपेभ्यो महद्भ्यः रथिभ्यो नमः शत्रुभ्यः संग्रहीतृभ्यः कुलालेभ्यः कुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो इषुकृभ्यो धन्वकृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यः श्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यः स्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are now entering into the next Anuvakam, is the fifth Anuvakam. And from here on, life is easy because the mantra won't be as complex as previous ones. And we are all experts now, so you can learn much faster pace with this Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha. And as you can see, the shift of the mantra is from previously it is coming Namo Namo, right? Namaha it starts, Namo Namaha it ends, each mantra. Now in this particular case it will be only one Namo. Namo Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha Namah Sharvaya cha Pashupataye cha Namo Neelagrivaya cha Sitikanthaya cha Namah Kapardine cha Vyuktakeshaya cha. Please look at your notes carefully because pronunciation is as important as chanting also. Yeah? So you can see that there is a couplet that is associated with each Namaha. Namo Bhavaya cha Rudraya cha, that is one. Namah Sharvaya cha Pashupataye cha. Namo Neelagrivaya cha Sitikanthaya cha. Now what is this cha cha? Not cha cha cha. You know, everybody sings happy birthday. Cha cha cha. Not that. This cha is means also. Yeah. He is in this, he is in this, he is also this, he is also this, he is also this. So it's a manifestation of the presence of the divinity in everything that we come across. That's what this cha means. So is the divine is present in everything and all the things. And what are all the things the divinity is pervading is now simplified into very simple Bhavaya cha. So Namo Bhavaya cha. Namo Bhavaya cha. Namo Bhavaya cha. Rudraya cha. Rudraya cha. Rudraya cha. Namo Bhavaya cha. Rudraya cha. Namo Bhavaya cha. Rudraya cha. Namo Bhavaya cha. Rudraya cha. Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha. Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha. Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha.
Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha. Namah Sarvaya cha Pashupataye cha.
Namo Nilaggrivaya cha.
Namo Nilaggrivaya cha. Namo Nilaggrivaya cha.
Sitikantaya cha.
Sitikantaya cha. Sitikantaya cha.
Namo Nilaggrivaya cha Sitikantaya cha.
Namo Nilaggrivaya cha Sitikantaya cha. Namo Nilaggrivaya cha Sitikantaya cha.
Namah Kapardine cha.
Namah Kapardine cha. Namah Kapardine cha.
Vyuktakeshaya cha.
Vyuktakeshaya cha. Vyuktakeshaya cha.
Namah Kapardine cha Vyuktakeshaya cha.
Namah Kapardine cha. Vyuktakeshaya cha. Namah Kapardine cha. Vyuktakeshaya cha.
Namah Sahasrakshaya cha.
Namah Sahasrashaya cha. Namah Sahasrashaya cha.
Shatadhanvane cha.
Shatadhanvane cha. Shatadhanvane cha.
Namo Girishaya cha.
Namo Girishaya cha. Namo Girishaya cha.
Sipi Visthaya cha.
Sipi Vishtaya cha. Sipi Vishtaya cha.
Namo Girishaya cha Sipi Visthaya cha.
Namo Girishaya cha. Sipi Vishtaya cha. Namo Girishaya cha. Sipi Vishtaya cha.
Namo Midhustamaya.
Namo Milustamaya. Namo Milustamaya.
Cheshumate cha.
Cheshumate cha. Cheshumate cha.
Namo Midhustamaya Cheshumate cha.
Namo Milustamaya Cheshumate cha. Namo Milustamaya Cheshumate cha.
Namo Hrasvaya cha.
Namo Hrasvaya cha. Namo Hrasvaya cha.
Vamanaya cha.
Vamanaya cha. Vamanaya cha.
Namo Hrasvaya cha Vamanaya cha.
Namo Hrasvaya cha. Vamanaya cha. Namo Hrasvaya cha. Vamanaya cha.
Namo Bruhate cha.
Namo Brihate cha. Namo Brihate cha.
Varshiyase cha.
Varshiyase cha. Varshiyase cha.
Namo Bruhate cha Varshiyase cha.
Namo Brihate cha. Varshiyase
नमो वृद्धाय च
नमो वृद्धाय च नमो वृद्धाय च
संवृद्धने च संवृद्धने
च
नमो अग्र्याय च
नमो अग्र्याय च
प्रथमाय च
प्रथमाय च
नम आशवे चाजिराय च
नमः आशवे चाजिराय च नमः आशवे चाजिराय च
नमः शीघ्रियाय च
नमः शीघ्रियाय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च
शीभ्याय च
शीघ्राय च शीघ्राय च
नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च
नमः पूर्णाय च वस्वन्याय च नमः पूर्णाय च वस्वन्याय च
नमः श्रोत्याय च द्वीप्याय च श्रोतस्याय च नमः श्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च
नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च
नमः
स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च
नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च
नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च
नमो भवाय च
रुद्राय च
नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च
नमः सर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमः सर्वाय च पशुपतये च
नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च
नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च
नमः कपर्दिने च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च
नमः कपर्दिने च वृत्तकेशाय च नमः कपर्दिने च वृत्तकेशाय च
नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च
नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च
नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिवेष्ठाय च
नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च
नमो मीढुष्टमाय शेषुमते च
नमो मीरुष्टमाय शेषुमते च नमो मीरुष्टमाय शेषुमते च
नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च
नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च
नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च
नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
संवृध्वने च
संवृध्वने च संवृध्वने च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
You're chanting Samvruddhvane. That's not what I'm saying. Samvruddhvane. Vru is flat. Sam is flat, is low. Samvruddhvane cha. What you are chanting is Samvruddhvane cha. You're chanting Vru also low. So that's not correct. So Namo Vruddhaya cha Samvruddhvane cha.
नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च
Correct.
नमो वृद्धाय च
संवृध्वने
च
नमो अग्रियाय च प्रथमाय च
नमो अग्रियाय
नमो डो मो डाउन नमो
अग्रियाय च प्रथमाय च
नम आशवे च जिराय च
नम आशवे च जिराय च नम आशवे च जिराय च
नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च
नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीघ्राय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीघ्राय च
नमः भूर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च
नमः पूर्णाय च वस्वन्याय च नमः पूर्णाय च वस्वन्याय च
नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च
नमः स्रोतस्याय च दीप्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च दीप्याय च
नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च सितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च सिपिविष्ठाय च नमो मीढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वत्सीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्रियाय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे च जिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च
रुद्राय च नमः सर्गाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शिखिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च वृत्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च
more perfect than you. Flawless they will chant. Very good. We can move to the next Namakam now. Excellent. You are all ready to participate in Maharudram that's going to happen this weekend, this coming weekend in Sacramento, that Siddhivinayaka temple. I request all of you who are able to chant to go and participate in sacred activities that are happening. And it doesn't really matter whether you are as perfect as the priest or not. When you chant with pure love and devotion, that's all counts. Rest doesn't matter. Okay? So, at least by going and listening and participating in that, it will be a wonderful opportunity for all of us to also, as you listen and listen and listen, automatically, I know this effect of listening in Atirudram or like that, automatically the imprint happens. It's the question of the right opportunity for the seed to germinate. Everything is ready, already pre-programmed within all of us. Everything, the entire divinity is encapsulated and is present in each and every individual. That is the fundamental truth. Mamayivamsho jivaloke, jiva bhuta sanatanaha. I am the eternal one, and this eternal one is packaged. And this entire genotype is packaged and it is put inside. And this genotype means we are all pre-programmed already genetically. The entire divinity is encapsulated within us. And this entire divinity that is encapsulated within us, when the right time and the opportunity comes, it starts expressing itself into the phenotype. Phenotype is what you see. Genotype is something you cannot see. What is programmed within us as genotype or the imprint genetically is the divinity. And Swami has declared very clearly, Mamai Vamsho Jivaloke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. I am already the eternal one. I am already programmed within every, as an amsha, means as a seed within every one of us. And when the right time comes, what happens? Everything, the seed is prepared, and when it is put in the soil, and when it is then watered and nurtured, what happens? Very slowly, this seed starts sprouting and becomes the plant. The entire banyan tree, which is so huge, how can it be? So the eternal one, the huge banyan tree, is programmed into a small seed. Very small seed. In fact, Swami tells a very interesting joke. If you take a small vine, like gummadikai means the big gourd, pumpkin. Yes, thank you. Okay. See, I forget my English very often. So, pumpkin, what happens is the entire pumpkin, it's coming out of what? A very small vine, isn't it? Very delicate vine. Huge pumpkin comes. Huge banyan tree. Very small seed comes. Isn't it? Then Swami was telling one guy asked a very interesting question. How is it that this small vine, pumpkin, small vine gives big fruit, and how is this big tree gives small fruit? Then he said, you fool, if you go and sleep under a banyan tree, if a huge fruit is there, falls on you, you will die. Nobody sleeps under a pumpkin vine, right? Therefore it has big fruit. See how beautiful God's creation is? Do you ever comprehend that? Huh? What happened if banyan tree has a big fruit? Everybody taking rest, boom, fruit falls, everybody dies, right? So it has very small seed, so that the beings that are underneath it are not hurt. How? Huh? Jackfruit is actually nobody. Yeah. There are exceptions to the rule always. Even God has exception to the rule. Huh? 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 Yeah. It never falls. And it is very close to the trunk. In fact, jackfruit is not fruit. It is actually a combination. The entire inflorescence becomes the fruit. It is not actually one fruit. So, anyway, so imagine, generally speaking, all the fruits that we eat, they're all plucked, except they don't usually fall. So, anyway, so the point of what I was saying is this Mamayava Amsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Every individual is programmed with the same divinity is manifested within every single person. And then what happens is, when this divinity is expressed, the expression of the divinity within us is waiting to happen. It is just waiting to manifest itself. What we do is we suppress it. We suppress it all the time. We don't want the divinity within us to be expressed. Then what happens? All of a sudden, we lose the identity associated with all of it, isn't it? All of a sudden, what happens? Divinity is expressed. No home, no family, nothing. Already all that identity generation is under threat. Therefore, we keep it suppressed. We keep it suppressed. We keep it suppressed. But for great souls, when the right time that comes, boom, it doesn't require any, that right time comes, everything else becomes irrelevant and doesn't matter. Now I have to be very careful. All the kids will stop going to school and no more school, mommy, I am done here. But who knows, it may happen to any one of us at any point of time. But when it happens, sometimes this divinity expression happens after many, many millions of births in it. But it will happen. It has to happen at some point or the other. No question about that. Have no doubt that the divinity has to be expressed within us, that this process of expression of the divinification has to happen. Whether it happens in this life or some other life, it is inevitable. What we do is, the programming is, the instinct is, that when the instincts that are pre-programmed within us, they're all pre-programmed, and we have to go through this process of losing the identity either now or some other time. So the question is asked, why I have to take so many births, birth after birth after birth after birth, happen to be, it has to, the suffering actually is the birth after birth after birth after birth. And this is what we go through foolishly, that, oh my God, I have to wait for another birth. Then I have to come back, I have to go through the same suffering, and then come back after another birth, come back after another birth. Who knows, you may be born as a pig, and when you are getting slaughtered, then you go through the pain. You may become a deer and get hunted by a tiger and die mercilessly, or become a chicken, deheaded, also gone, a dog beaten. How many births? A fly caught up in some kind of garbage. So, how many types of births? What type of births? It's inevitable. But God has given the human birth only to realize the divinity within us. And therefore, why are we wasting the time? That this precious human birth is given after so many lives of incredible karma that we have gone through. You get this human birth. And in this human birth, when you get this human birth, 50% of the human birth is gone with sleep only, right? Generally speaking, you are not supposed to sleep more than 6 or 8 hours if you are a child. But some of us mercilessly sleep 12 hours, even at the expense of putting off the alarm. So, 12 hours out of 24 hours generally gone for sleep and other activities. Only 50% remains for doing activities associated. Even in that 50% to go get the food and take care of our human body and life, the rest of the time is gone. How much time is really left in this human life to pursue the divinity? And if you don't pursue it now, what happened? You have wasted a precious life that is given to us, that is actually given to us to realize ourselves and the divinity within us. Yes, Meera, your hand is hurting, or my hand is hurting. Yeah.
Now the question is, should we have the feverishness to awaken, or can we be casual and let it happen whenever it happens?
This is the question is actually, why do I need to struggle? Can I not be happy and then already the awakening happens? Yes, that's the, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is yesterday. Hello, Sairam. Anything you want to share? You can share with us. Yes.
I don't know anyone who's.
Huh?
I don't know like anyone that around our age that sleeps for only 6 hours.
You don't know anyone who sleeps just for 6 hours?
No, just like
Out of all the kids, how many hours you guys sleep? 8. 8, yeah. 8 is good. Until you are about an age of 12, sleeping 8 hours is good for you. Yeah. But you are sleepless, huh? Oh, 12, huh?
He's 12 now.
Okay, let's kind of keep that aside. Generally talking, the principle of sleeping, at least 50% of our life is wasted in sleeping. That's what the point is. Now, the question is, even when I am sleeping, if I am thinking of God, it's not really sleeping. I'm not wasting. So the aspect, why do we need to put an effort to become divine? Aren't we already divine? So just be happy and you're divine. Is that what you're saying? Huh?
No. There are two ways. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, one way says you have to struggle for God as if a person is, strangulated or is dipped into the water,
Yeah.
drowning, struggles to gasp for water, gasp for air. Like that, should we struggle to get the God? Or they say that when you pursue it, you never get it. So let's leave it, and then God comes to us
Automatically. Yeah. Yeah.
So, which one would be a right approach?
I don't know actually, because I haven't myself realized the divinity. But generally speaking, as long as you have the body and the mind consciousness, you have to put the effort, period. Those people that are beyond that mind and body consciousness, they are already living in divinity, therefore they don't put any effort. How many of us really have the ability to put aside all the sensual pleasures associated with the body? Huh? All the divinity comes, ice cream comes in front, oh my God, divinity is gone.
You can see the divinity in that.
Yeah. So the ice cream is divine, let me eat the divine. Yeah. What that is what this is misplaced spirituality.
No, forget
Yeah.
the cause, or not associate the divinity with the cause, but just enjoy the ice cream without going to the cause. Ice cream only can give me that pleasure, not going and buying an ice cream the next day.
I think this is a very complex topic as usual, but what I'm trying to say is the effort of Shraddha and Saburi are absolutely needed as long as you are a simple mortal that is in Sairama, please sit down. Yeah. So the effort is absolutely required. And that is what is actually sadhana is. And hence these different margas that the greatest have realized. And yesterday we had the incredible story of Namdev, just the second part of Namdev's life we were talking about. The context of living a spiritual life is not to be unhappy about it. Okay? So, the fundamental thing is happiness. But happiness in the context of in union with the divine, not happiness in the context of association with a pleasure. You understand? That's the difference. When we were doing the satsang here, Swami said, follow the path of the great sadhu and satsang, you will get heaps or bags of happiness, he said. But then which great sadhu or satsang had great pleasures of life? They didn't. Therefore, the question is, you have to ask, if I follow that guy, I will be in deep trouble all the time. From the point of context of worldly pressure. In spite of anything, if you are happy, then an ice cream comes in front of you, you are happy. In spite of anything, if you don't have any food, if you are happy, and if ice cream comes in front of you, you are happy, that is real happiness. But if you are happy only when ice cream comes in front of you, and for 3 days no food, you are unhappy, then that happiness is not the same happiness. You understand? This misplaced spiritual philosophy is, ice cream is happy, I can eat happy. But when no ice cream, in fact no food, are you happy? If you are, then you can be qualified to be told as, yes, I am seeing happiness in everything. You understand? The same ice cream, if you are asked to eat 15 tubs of the same ice cream, after 2 tubs, you are saying, oh my God, I hate this. I don't want to eat ice cream anymore. Then, all of a sudden, what caused pleasure to you turned into displeasure. Then, that is not happiness. Now, this is very simple said, very difficult to practice. But we are all saying, our happiness is, no matter what, I am happy, really. I'm already realized divine. No, you are not. And hence, the question you have to ask yourself is, am I in that state of consciousness, samadhi, equipoised intellect that takes pleasure and the pain with equal welcoming? When you are in that, then you are qualified to be called as a spiritual person, because your happiness is not associated with an external factor. That is the definition of spiritual happiness. If any time you have a happiness that is triggered by an external factor, realize that it is just your mind playing the game. It is not spiritual happiness, period. What external factor is incredible, Swami describes. One time, Swami was asked this question. Swami, come on, I don't know where Brahmananda and all that Ananda says, because he was giving a discourse about what Ananda is, what is Brahmananda is, all these different levels of happiness, Satchidananda is, all these Anandas are described in different aspects. So Swami was being asked, in fact he himself describes in a discourse, people ask the question, I don't know about Brahmananda, Ananda. Right now ice cream is there, I am hungry and I am eating, I am getting Ananda. Therefore, why do I need to go after some Brahmananda which I cannot even relate to? But right now I am getting ice cream, I am happy. So let me be happy right now. Here and now this is happy. No, that is not actually, that is ephemeral, temporal happiness. The Brahmananda that he is talking about is beyond any of, he is in fact described like an old dog gets hold of a bone. And this old dog that gets the bone, grabs the bone, goes into the back of a bush and starts biting on this bone. Old dog. Because it's an old dog, it's biting on the bone. What happens? One of its tooth actually breaks because the bone is very hard. And then what happens? Slowly it starts getting the blood in its own saliva. And then it's very happy licking this bone, which has actually no blood associated with it. It's falling on this bone and then licking its own blood. And it is feeling very happy, thinking that some blood is coming out of that external object. All of our anandas are exactly associated with that. Period. We are all just the dogs licking on the bone and some blood is coming out of ourselves, and then we are feeling exactly like the ananda that a small baby enjoys. When they put the finger in, why do you think most of the children actually put their finger in and they start sucking their thumb and they are very happy? Because they think that that something is coming out of this thumb and that is what is giving them happiness, pacifies them. Therefore, hence the concept of pacification, also putting pacifier. What is the child actually associating that happiness with? That it is getting the milk of the mother from the nipple. But is it really any milk coming from the thumb or any milk coming from that pacifier only, no? Yeah, pacifier, no, it is not. Its own saliva it is enjoying. And this Brahmananda, he is those people that are in the self. They are so much within the ananda of their own self that no external object would make them happy or make them unhappy. You give them ice cream, they enjoy it the same way. You give them a kakrakai, a bitter gourd, they also enjoy it the same way. No association with external objects. That is the real ananda. Did I answer your question? Now what was your question? Same question. Answered. Okay. Very good. So, the latent has to become patent at some point or the other. No question. It's unstoppable. You have to decide, do I want to achieve the divinity in this life? God knows when I will get a human life again. Impossible to predict. Impossible to predict. So, why are we wasting the time going after all the other things? Now you may ask the question, she was pointing that out. Well, I have to lead a real life. So, in the context of that, it doesn't mean you give up what your duties are, your responsibilities are, but you turn all of them towards God consciousness. And then what happens automatically is, when you are dancing because of the love for the dance, but it no longer becomes a dance of your own self. It becomes the dance of the divine when you connect to what you're doing in the context. When you're singing a bhajan, it no longer becomes am I singing perfectly or not is not what it is. When you focus on this is an offering, then automatically, whether even if you're, like yesterday I was telling, all these villagers that come and sing in front of Panduranga, they don't have any tunes, nothing like that. They are singing in their simple ecstasy. But it sounds so fantastic. You look at this beautiful, when you go to Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, the beggars that actually sing, they sing Kabir's, dohas. And when they're singing, they don't have perfect beat and perfect rhythm or nothing like that. But everything falls into place because it's coming out of their own self-ananda. Yes, somebody raised a hand, I saw. Oh, yes. How do we know we are spiritually? How do we know we are progressing? Why do we need to even ask that question?
One says, actually, you have to know where you are so that you can move the next step.
Yeah. No, what he says is, so here is the thing. I am progressing or not is a question of, at some point, you even stop asking that question. You automatically know. Nobody need to actually tell you, or you don't even need to calibrate. You automatically know that you are already in connectivity with the divine within you. That is the ultimate metric. Your own consciousness actually tells you. Nobody needs to describe it for you. Nobody needs to make you understand. There is no exact stepwise strategy to pass or go to spiritual next step. It is, the metric is actually within ourselves. Our own consciousness actually tells. It's very clear. When we make a mistake, when a bad thought comes, you already know that it is a bad thought. And then you know what to do with it or not to do with it. Nobody needs to tell. It automatically is programmed within us. But what we do is, we, for our own convenience, or if we pursue that thought, it may not help us accomplish what we need to do in a worldly sense. We kind of either decide to do something with it, or when a good thought comes, not to actually pursue it. We are triggered by external factors. The greatest metric of spiritual progress is when you do something out of pure love for it. Automatically, that is the biggest progress. Without associating with, am I doing this to please others? If that question is all the time coming, it's not that you have to hurt others. Listen to this very carefully. People are very, very careful to interpret this carefully. Last week, after the class was over, we had a little small satsang in the context of what happened in the class. Somebody was asking, isn't a person that is killing an animal, isn't he committing a sin? Yes, they are committing a sin from your point of view. But from their point of view, they don't have that awareness. Therefore, the compassion is about putting yourself in their awareness and saying, then you have a sympathy or compassion towards them. And Swami, actually, I shared an example in that. Swami, I think I shared this in the class also. A tiger chasing a deer. Did I share that in the class here? Yes? No? You forgot already. Okay, I'll tell the story. A tiger is chasing a deer. And the deer is praying to God. God, please save me. The tiger is saying, God, I'm really hungry. Please give me food. You are God. What will you do? It's a question. Go think about this. Very, very clearly, I will say it again. Tiger is chasing a deer. Deer is running. And the tiger is praying, oh God, I am hungry. I want to kill this deer and get my food. And the deer is praying, God, please save my life. And you are God. Both are praying equally. One is a prey, but both are praying. Okay? What will you do? You are God. What will you do? This is what Swami used to have, this dare to be divine. Dare to be divine. Then once you come to that level of consciousness, then what will you do? There is a Upanishad behind it. This exact question. So think about that. So that Sri Kalahasti, there is a place called Sri Kalahasti. Sri Kalahasti. Sri is spider. Kala is cobra. Hasti is elephant. How these three worshipped Shiva? Actually, you are from Sri Kalahasti. Sit properly and listen. Go get the story right. Yes. You are from Sri Kalahasti, right? Yeah. So Sri Kalahasti. Each of them are worshipping God in their own way. Right? Do people know this story? No? Okay, next class I will tell. But one thing I want to make a couple of announcements before we... So the next class will be on March 13th. Okay? March 13th. You will get the reminder through but I request you to actually use the time from 9 to 10. Either to practice the Veda followed by bhajan practice or something like that, so that you already are awake to come for a spiritual activity. Keep the same energy and the rigor. Don't let an external factor like Shaker be the influence for that. Very important. External factor. External factor, Shaker is irrelevant. Shaker is nothing, nobody. Our love, our focus, our attention is on Bhagavan. He is the sole focus and attention. So come together, and when we are learning this, this particular Anuvakam that we learn, it is described very nicely. Bhavaya cha, Rudraya cha. Bhava means birth. Rudra means dissolution or the source. Now, whatever I shared in this class is connected to those two mantras. What we are programmed for birth, Bhava, is coming from the source, the Rudra. The force and the source. Bhava is the force. Rudra is the source. Bhava means force. What is coming forth? It is forth. It is force. Rudra is the source. When everything that is coming from the source of Rudra, then whatever activity that is happening, when it is coming from the source, the heart, it is divine. When it is coming from the head, it is always coming with some agenda. So fundamental question that sister asked, how do we know that we are progressing, is every thought that is coming, very clearly your conscience tells you, is it coming from the heart or is it coming from the head? When you know that it is coming from the heart, that is already, how many number of thoughts that I get per day, maybe is a metric, because we are all used to metrics, numbers. How many thoughts that I am, how many acts that I am undertaking in a day. At the end of a day, if we just sit down yourself and you calibrate the whole day, lay it out in front of you, it will be very clear. That's why great people used to write diaries. The point of writing a diary was to keep a tab of how many times did I actually have good thoughts, positive thoughts. How many times did I actually have bad thoughts, bad actions. Now, when you go back and calibrate that, at some point you would actually become thoughtless. The moment you start watching the thought goes away. Then only what remains is the Rudra, the source. Then you are walking divinity already. Whatever you come across is divine. Whatever you think of becomes divine. Whatever you act upon is divine. That is the educare. Bhavayacha is education. Rudrayacha is educare. When we talk about spiritual education, which is the next part of the agenda, so the spiritual education, educare, is everything that is coming from your heart. Therefore, you don't come to Sai spiritual education and talk about the regular education stuff. It's not that the education is unimportant, but an education based in educare is much more powerful than just an education that is learned for just livelihood. You understand? Huh? That is the essence of Bhavayacha Rudrayacha, is the meaning of what we just talked about. Now Sharvayacha Pashupatayecha. I will explain the meaning of those things in the next class. So wish you all a wonderful Shivratri in the consciousness of Bhagavan. And the next 4 weeks, obviously, I'm going to tremendously miss this satsang, because in the context of seeing your beautiful, these beautiful souls here, it's a lot of energy. But Swami's is the focus, and he is the only source. The rest of the forces, they come and go. The only source that remains is Bhagavan. That is Rudra. So that's the essence of Shivratri. Shivratri is to let the force disappear and only the source remain. That's why the essence of Shivratri is the mind is the minimum. That means the force is at the minimal. What remains is the source, and that is the Shiva. Shiva consciousness is all about that. That's the essence of Islam. The mind is at the lowest. That is the moon crescent. The source is the star. And the star, when you focus on the star, that is the symbol of Islam. And the star that is within the Islam symbol is the Star of David, which is Judaism. That God is all pervading. Now you see how beautiful, how all these religions are connected, but they fight with each other. The Star of David is within the star that the Islam people pray. But yet they fight with each other as Jews and Muslims. How stupid it is. How stupid it is. Actually it is stupid. Because each religion is combined with the other, and all the connectivity happens. Shivratri is actually nothing but celebrating the divinity of Allah. So don't worry about any of the rest of the stuff. Let only Allah, the divine, remain, and the rest of the forces disappear. That's the essence of Shivratri. Om Sri Sai Ram. Om Shanti.